hCG Diet web app. Let's take a look at the home screen. Here, I see I'm in Phase 1, Day 1, with one more to go. I've not yet set it up, so let's take a look at setting up the hCG web app. We'll select Start Date. I see I have two options, the recommended, which is taking me through phases 1 through 4, and or manual override, allowing me to extend my phase 2 days and even complete additional rounds. Let's move our start date just so that we can take a look at phase 2 and planning. I will enter my first weight. Let's put 200. My goal, how many pounds I'd like to lose. I'll enter 20. If I have a scale that monitors my body water and fat percentage, I will enter it accordingly and click on measurement. It notes that I'm a male from the time I set up my account. I will enter my chest measurements, my arm, waist, and thigh. I will hit OK. And now I will select if I'm taking my hCG sublingually or by injection and how many times a day. Here I see that I have selected 2, and each day I can check off when I've actually taken it. Here I see I have not yet planned my lunch or dinner, so I will go back to the menu and I will select Meal Planning. Here, lunch for Wednesday, August 17, I will just select the items I would like. Select dinner, likewise. And now that day has been planned for both lunch and dinner. I can proceed to the next day, or I can decide to select repeat and repeat my meals. I will select lunch, or dinner rather, and now my lunch for those repeated days. Once I have done so, I can select Done, and it will save and close. If I return back to the menu, I see today's meals have all those items I've selected with the calorie count in the upper right-hand corner. It includes the Melba toast and or breadstick calories. I can advance day by day to see what I'm eating and the calories. If I select Notes, I can also view that those days have been planned and the food items are in my day at the bottom left-hand corner. The push pin has been removed, indicating that those days have been planned. If I were to click on the blue push pin, it would take me directly to planning. Here in my notes, I may for the day make a note whether I followed the protocol and or lost weight, and how I felt about the day. Once I save it, it updates on the calendar, indicated in followed the protocol and lost weight. Likewise, I can go to previous days and do the same, whether I maintained, followed the protocol, and or cheated and lost weight. And I will select the past 3 days since I had advanced myself in this protocol at the time of setup. Now I see on my notes calendar that those days have been recorded. If ever I wanted to see only the days I lost weight, cheated and or followed the protocol, I can select those reference points at the top to just indicate that directly on the calendar. All those items in planning have been moved to the shopping list under the appropriate phase, whether 1 and or phase 2. I can print by pressing the print icon, and those will be printed according again to phase and by week. If I press on the light bulb, I will see exactly the questions answered that I may have under the help. Now I've clicked on what can I eat. I see that phase 2 is highlighted. That's my current phase. And I may select a food group. It will sort to the top those items which are allowed, and I may narrow it down by selecting group, and I have done so. I see in my phase 2, on the right-hand side, calories, I also see whether or not that food item is permitted. I can switch to other phases to also verify whether or not a food item is allowed. If I need to search directly, I may start typing. If I hit enter, it will directly pull up those that have my search criteria. If I change the phase, even with the search criteria, it will update and show me which foods are allowed. That is under Can I Eat? Let's take a look at progress. Here, under the weight chart, I can see that my first day, I weighed 200 pounds. I'm going to enter today's weight. I will hit OK, and it is automatically registered here. If I decide to enter or change a previous weight, I may select that and change it. The chart will reflect the change. If I need to also edit a note associated to that weight, maybe a food item, or whether or not I follow the protocol, by selecting that, I can immediately move back to my journal or notes page. Let's take a look at the measurement graph. Here I see my measurements for the past 3 days. I have not yet entered today, so I will enter some values. Once I hit OK, it will update and show me on the right-hand side if I've lost or gained inches or centimeters. I can isolate a body area by selecting on, for example, chest, arm, waist, or thigh to see that graph. If I deselect, I go back to the radar view to see all those measurements entered. Let's now take a look at PhotoJournal. Here you have the ability by phase to upload photos. You may tag them once you have selected. You may also flag them to be viewed in a slideshow and upload the photo.